it off from the PS. I hope you're all well. Once again, thank you very much for coming back to my channel. I really do appreciate all the support. And once again, if you like what I say today, please do like, subscribe, share this video. Drop me any comments in the comment box because it really does go a long way to helping me boost the channel. And this one's quite an important topic, so I think it's a good one to share with people. So it's not always roses in the world, right? And I wanted to share something that's happened to me this week that I think will be a useful lesson for everyone. So before I get into it, just to say, as ever, you know me by now, my name's Nick, I am a financial advisor, but I'm absolutely not your financial advisor. And so what that means is that anything I say or do in this video is purely me, a bloke, sharing some opinions on the internet, getting across a message that I hope will bring some value to you, and should absolutely not be taken as financial advice. So jumping into the topic, so I've not come up with a title yet, but it's something along the lines of Ripple, XRP, come and save us from the banks. So I'm a long-term financial professional. I've worked for banks. I've worked in banks. I don't work in banks anymore. I work in what I tend to call a family office. I help people with investments and to maneuver their way through the investment world and to build investment portfolios. But I still work hand in hand with banks on a daily basis. I still have quite an influential voice with banks. I know how they work. I know who works in them. I've got some good contacts in most banks in the world. It comes part and parcel with what I do every day. And so the other day I logged onto my online banking to do my normal tasks that I do. I've banked with my bank since 2007. My bank's quite a specialist one. It's in the Isle of Man. It's what we call an offshore bank account. So what that means is that as a non-UK resident, I'm British, but I don't live in the UK. I can keep my bank in the Isle of Man, which is very, very close to the UK system, but it's not actually a UK bank. And I don't have to worry about future taxes and things like that because it's a very tax-friendly environment. So I can keep my money in this account without worrying about any taxes back home in the UK because I don't have to pay them. It's all perfectly legal. But it also gives me a few benefits when I live and work abroad. I get paid from various different jurisdictions, for example. A UK bank would struggle compliance and regulatory wise to understand how I get paid, why it comes from tens of different geographical locations and companies and things like this. So it's just better for my circumstances. And I've had a good relationship with this bank for a long, long time. So about a year ago, I changed my email address with them because I changed my email address and I changed my home address and a few other things. I filled out all the forms, sent them off. And I logged onto my online banking the other day, and at the top is a typical menu, as you get with most, well, I was going to say most banking sites, but most websites altogether. And one of the several options is a push button that says send money. You click on that, it gives me a list of all the accounts I send money to. I was going to pay my mortgage, my insurances, a few bills that, they were due at that time. And that button had disappeared. And I thought, well, that's odd. So I called the bank, and again, I have a good relationship with the bank, and it wasn't any person I have a relationship with, just the normal standard phone line. But the girl that answered sort of said, well, we've been sending you emails for 2 months and you've not responded. And I said, well, that's impossible. My email address, I look at it every single day. I check my junk folder. You've not sent me anything. I said, where have you sent it to? And she read out my old email address. So I then said, well, I actually changed all my email addresses with you. A year ago, I can't remember the exact date now, and you send me emails to my new email address, so I don't understand what's happened. And she then went on a long and protruded speech to explain exactly how it was absolutely not the bank's fault. There's nothing the bank has ever done wrong since the history they were created, and it's all my fault. And if you know banks the way I know banks, there was no point arguing with her. There's no point. The simple fact of the matter is I'm certain that legally they have something in the small print that says it was my fault and they have no responsibility, whatever. So I just sort of said, well, how do we fix this? And so what had happened is they'd been writing to me probably more because of my role in life with an enhanced sort of KYC, your customer document, enhanced due diligence on me personally, which most people out there would have received a reduced version of that because they don't work in finance. So most people would have just had a, do you still live at this address? Send us your new passport, send us your your TIN number, which is your tax information number in the country where you live, that kind of thing. Mine's a little bit more enhanced than that. It's about a 15-page document, annoyingly. But she said, well, we've been sending this for 2 months now, and the last one we sent you, which was actually, when I looked, was only the 3rd email in the chain, so they hadn't tried too hard. Said, we sent it to you last week saying if you didn't reply back within a week, we're going to close your bank. And they hadn't closed my bank, they'd frozen my account, which is slightly different. And I sort of said, well, that's disgusting, number one. But again, I knew that legally, I'm sure their lawyers have already gone through this and they'd done nothing that I could ever sue them about this. So I said, well, how do we fix it? She said, well, I'll send you a new form. You just need to sign it. I said, well, can you send it to my correct email address, please? She said, yeah, we do have that email on file. That's why you get emails there. But we hadn't updated our system to change your main correspondence for all purposes to that. We'd only just put the marketing emails to that. I said, well, then again, is that your fault? And then he said, no, absolutely not. It's your responsibility to ensure we change all email, yada, yada, yada. It's bullshit, right? We all know it's bullshit, but we all know that deep down they're covered legally. So there's nothing I can do about it. Now, what that would have meant is that if I hadn't noticed that, they'd have closed my bank account at the end of October. And if they closed my bank account, if you read the small print terms and conditions with your bank account, it tells you there what their process is. And mine was very, very simply, point number one, we can close your account for any reason we damn well please. Point number two, if we decide to close your account, there's absolutely nothing you can do legally. You accepted these terms and conditions 21 years ago when you opened the bank account. Point three, what we will do if we close your bank account is we will send you any funds that you have, minus any overdrafts and things. Now, I don't have an overdraft, but people do, by way of a check. Now, my bank is a GBP bank account, and if they sent me the funds by way of a check, my other bank here in the Philippines doesn't accept checks in any currency but Philippine peso. I do have international accounts with other banks, like DBS in Singapore, that would have taken it, but I would have had to go to Singapore. It would have been a hell of an inconvenience to me, but that's, me who's in a position where I know how to deal with these things. To the normal layman, it could have been devastating, right? There's people out there who only have one bank account, and suddenly you get given a check and you go, well, where do I put this? And then you have to spend 2 weeks opening a new account, doing all the diligence, getting your account open, then putting your check in. The check can take 5 to 7 days to actually cash, and you've gone the best part of a month with no money, and the bank don't care. They did not care. I tried to explain this to them. Again, I've got other accounts with cash in. I'm fine. It was the inconvenience for me, but they had absolutely zero interest in fixing this until I'd done the documents and got them back. Now, again, I've got friends in the bank, I've got friends in the sector, I know my way around, I've worked for banks, I knew exactly what to do with the forms, I knew exactly how to get them through, and I even knew exactly how to discuss this with the line manager at the bank to make sure they put me at the very front of the queue to get my bank back on. And it took 2 days to get it back on. But if you didn't know those people, you didn't have that information that you only really get from years working in a bank. It could have been a month, and they did not care. They did not care in any way at all. You look at the internet. This is just a Google page. These articles have increased significantly since, I would say, 2021. That it happens. What to do if the bank closes your account? What to do if a bank closes your account? What do you do if this is happening? Reddit, Quora, people are asking these questions because it's happening to people. Every bank around the world is having to do enhanced due diligence now. It's a regulatory requirement, and I get it. It's fine. It's perfectly okay. The way they are doing that is they're using it as a weapon to close accounts on people they don't want. I don't think that was the case for me, by the way. I pay my bank an awful lot of money. I also introduced them high net worth clients that pay them a damn sight more than me. So I don't think that was their intention in this. I think it's automated. The system is there to get rid of some of the deadwood, and it's automated. And if you don't respond in a while, you get dropped into that trap. They were emailing me at the wrong email address. If they'd sent it to the right email, I'd have replied back within a day. However, this is happening to people. There's articles here, from big articles, CNBC, things like this, that what will happen? What happens when a bank closes your account? Why did they close your account? Not enough activity with your account. Basically, they're in it to make money, right? If you've got $50 in there and you've not touched it in 7 years, and they just pay you a couple of cents interest on it, it's a waste of their time. They probably pay a small amount to whatever website manager they have, various costs that come with holding that account. It's not worth it to them. So they want to get you down. Excess overdraft fees, okay, they don't like it when they spend their money and never give it back. Fraudulent activity. But the thing is, they can hide behind these things. Most accounts that get closed won't be any of those three. It will be, we're bored of managing your account. It's not cost effective. We don't want you anymore. And they have zero sympathy for you. So what to do when the bankers close your account? Contact your bank immediately. Stop direct deposits with automatic withdrawals. File a complaint. Explore other options. How to prevent the bank from closing your account is probably more important. Monitor any scheduled payments or automatic withdrawals to ensure you have sufficient funds available. Enroll in text or email notifications to alert you when your bank falls below a certain amount. Link your account so that your funds can be easily transferred if the balance in one account drops, and regularly review your monthly bank statements and check for possible errors. So what this is basically telling you is the banks close your account when it becomes financially inviable to them. So use it or lose it is probably the best phrase. That doesn't mean start paying money into an account you don't want, but if you don't want the account, maybe just stick $20 in every now and again and take it out again. Stick it in, go to the ATM, take it out. That keeps the account open in their mind. It makes them think you're using it. This is more of just drawing your attention to the fact that this is happening. With expats, it's happening more with my circle of friends. In that there's a lot of regulatory requirements in countries of origin to keep on top of things like this from a point of view of there's now enhanced due diligence if my bank's in England and I don't live in England anymore, there's enhanced due diligence and compliance and regulatory requirements. That means it's harder work for them to keep my account open. So if I'm not commercially viable for them, they will lock it down. And that's the same. I've seen this. I live in the Philippines on just Facebook groups. Guys left, right, centre saying, oh, my bank have shut me down after 30 years. I've been a loyal customer. Can't believe it. And the simple fact is you were a valuable customer to them for 30 years. Now in year 31, you're not. And they have zero memory, zero conscience about this. You're gone. So just be careful with it. And again, it was more just drawing attention to that fact. And then to look at this is why people like crypto, right? This is why the crypto world is so appealing to the people that understand. We don't want banks to have the power. For me, if they closed that account, I would have had to change probably the best part of 25 direct debits. I've got mortgages, I've got insurances. A great one being all my crypto wallets are linked to that account. It's my main bank account. So I would have to then go to my crypto exchanges, not my actual wallets themselves, they're not really relevant, but the exchanges. I would have to say, well, I need to link to this new bank account now. They'd go, why? I'd go, well, my other bank account no longer exists. That just gives them an excuse. I don't trust exchanges as far as I can throw them. If they have the excuse to never fucking give me my money back, sorry, excuse my language, but I'm going to keep it in there, they won't. If they have the excuse to never give me my money back, they won't give me my money back. They'll accept my crypto from my wallets back onto the exchange. They'll let me convert it into GBP, USD, whatever my currency, so they can charge me for that exchange. And then they'll go, you didn't keep your due diligence up to date, the KYC questionnaire, or your passport, or it's a different bank account. Send us a scanned copy of your new bank details, and then you send it through, and 15 times in a row that doesn't work. They want to keep hold of our assets as long as they can because they get paid for holding. So all these problems would have come because my bank sent my emails to the wrong email address. And even though they won't take responsibility, they even admitted, oh yeah, we should have been sending it to a different email address, but then turned it round on me and said, that's all your fault. You should have ensured we were sending it to the right email address, which you would have thought signing a form and sending it off ensured that, but no. So just be careful with the banks, guys. And this is why crypto is such an important thing. We want to be in a world where we have the ability to spend from our crypto wallets. I want to be in a position where I have XRP earning me a yield, be that through an AM or a different reason, and creating me fiat money to spend in the real world, to switch that XRP, I imagine now in my state of thinking, into RLUSD once it's up and running properly and I've got a bit more faith in it, and then me spending that RLUSD off a card. You know, Uphold give me the ability to do that. Certain other wallets will give me the ability to do that. And having the confidence that they're not in it to take the profits in the same way and won't have the same agenda when it comes to locking us out of our own money and inconveniencing our lives because we're no longer profitable to them. So this is the point. I just wanted to raise this, guys. I mean, like I say, I'm a seasoned financial professional. If it can happen to me, it can happen to absolutely anyone. It was as simple as my email address being up to date with them, but the bank not knowing, the bank not being as diligent as they ought to be. And they almost closed my account down, which would have been nothing more than a kick in the nuts. To be honest, I'd have flown back to the UK, opened a new bank account with a different bank, and gone on the piss with my friends for 4 days and thoroughly enjoyed the trip. It would have been fine, but it's not the point. The point is this can happen to absolutely anyone, and they have no remorse when they do it. If it's not financially viable for them anymore, you're on the hit list. So just be careful. Be careful with all these things. Keep things up to date. Make sure your communication is there. Make sure there's a little bit of activity on them accounts to take away the excuse. And that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to run that by you because it's a real world problem that I've spotted that crypto will solve as well. We'll talk about how crypto solves that on a different one. It's 16 minutes in already, but it's just something I saw and I wanted to raise people's attention to it. So hopefully that brought you some value. If you like what I said today, please do like, subscribe, share the video. As I say, I really do appreciate any help you can offer me. And in the meantime, I'm off again now. So all the best. Have a great day, and we'll speak again soon. Thanks again, Nick.